going on, Deep Dive Spear Crew? Here on this episode, we're going to do part 2 of getting ready for a spearfishing trip. We're going to do a gear check today. We're going to check out our regulators, our BCs, check our weights with the wetsuits on because it's going to be kind of chilly when we go. Here in the house today, we got Brandon.
Hey guys.
G-Money. All right, y'all stay with us. We'll see you at the pool. So what we're doing here is going to take and set up our tanks. Just get everything checked out. Check our O-rings on our tanks. Your dive gear, there are cheap ways to get into this. You can buy used gear, but by the time you buy used gear, get it serviced by a professional, you'd have been just as well off to buy new gear, reputable gear like Aqualung and stuff like that. And so Brandon brings up a point. Diver Supply, places like that are great to buy gear from, entry-level gear, but you want to make sure that you buy some gear that actually can be serviced by your local dive shop like Aqualung. Most all dealers will service this kind of stuff. Some of your cheaper gear, they will not touch just because of liability issues. So when you're buying gear, secondhand is perfectly fine. Just buy some quality secondhand gear or either buy some mid-level gear whenever you get into it. I said Brandon brings up a good point.
Well, Diver Supply will actually service your gear if you have if you send it in the wintertime. Don't expect to get it a 2-week lead time out. Yeah. So if you're finally waiting or have a few months before you're going to dive again, you can pretty much send it in and they'll send it back.
Why are you not
just stay there for about 10 minutes.
So I turn my tank on. I'm listening for any leaks. Checking all this. Checking my pressure gauges. I have seen pressure gauges that come in that crack while just sitting in a dive bag over the winter. It's the craziest thing. I guess they get weak and then they crack. Yep, I had one. I do one.
Cold water. It'll take your breath away. Oh, is it on? Hey guys. So what I'm doing right now is I'm actually pulling this O-ring out that was leaking a while ago, and then we're going to trade it out and put a new one in here, and then put everything back together, and we're going to leak check it one more time and make sure it's not leaking. These O-rings are good for a few times, but after a while, with you just putting your first stage on and off, you wear the O-ring out. So they're predominantly going to wear out, dry out, salt water's going to mess with them, so every once in a while you just have to trade them out.
So 2 out of 3 setups need to do rings.
Yep. So that one that I had was messed up. It was chewed up a little bit, as you can see. I don't know if the camera's got that really good or not, but that first stage just put a wearing on it. Yeah, you've got some O-rings in the very, very bottom. There you go.
This is the one that came out of Gaines. I don't know if you can see it or not. It's very frayed.
It's chewed up too. Alright, so here's your new one. As you can tell, it's nice and not torn up. It's actually, you can tell the difference there. It's not as flattened out as either. So we're going to trade this one out and stick our red back on. You're going to make sure you get this mating surface pushed on there first, and then tighten up the back end. And just hand tight, that's all you needed. Okay, so once we have that back on, we can start turning our valve. Always stand to the side. And we're going to turn all the way till it stops. Okay. And let's try this out real quick. I think we're ready to go diving.
Appreciate you narrating that, Brandon. As you can see, we didn't have really much to do. Those are things you could fix them on the boat if you needed to, but you definitely do not want to go in for your first dive and your BC be leaking or your reg be leaking. So we wanted to check those out, and really we're ready to go. Next video should see us dropping in at Panama City. Deep Dive Spear Crew out.